All right, welcome to our video review for the quiz on factoring trinomials. Taking a look at number 1, we have p squared plus 11p plus 10. We recognize that all three terms are positive, so we know this is going to be a plus plus. So we're going to set this up as p plus something times p plus something. So next, what we need to think of are two numbers that multiply together to make 10 and add together to make 11. And that's going to be 10 and 1. 10 times 1 is 10, and 10 plus 1 is 11. Now, since these are both plus plus, it does not matter where we put the 10 or where we put the 1. So this works because, again, 10 times 1 is 10, and 10 plus 1 is 11. So that's our answer. All right, on to question number 2. We have x squared minus 19x plus 90. We can see that our third term is positive. And remember, the third term comes from multiplication. So if you multiply two numbers together and the answer is positive, that means the numbers were the same sign. Either both of them were positive or both of them were negative. The fact that our middle term here is negative means that both of our numbers are negative. So this is going to be a minus minus. We're going to set this up as x minus something times x minus something. So now, once again, we're thinking of two numbers that multiply together to make 90, and when we add them together, we get 19. And that's going to be 10 and 9. And once again, since both of these are the same sign, it does not matter where we put the 10 or where we put the 9. And here's our answer. Looking at number 3, we have v squared plus 5v minus 50. We can see that our third term here is negative. Remember, this comes from multiplication. So if you multiply two numbers together and you get a negative number as your answer, that means one of your numbers is positive and the other number is negative. So this is going to be v plus something times v minus something. So now we're looking for two numbers that multiply together to make negative 50. And when you add them together, you're left with a positive 5. Now remember, when you add a positive and a negative together, it's like subtraction. So what are two numbers that multiply together to make 50 that have a difference of 5? And that's going to be 5 and 10, right? But the question is, where do you put the 5 and where do you put the 10? So the way you figure that out is whatever sign the middle term has, that's where you put the bigger of the two numbers. So in 5 and 10, 10 is bigger. So since our middle term is positive, we're going to put our 10 next to the plus sign and our 5 next to the minus sign. It's important that you understand this. When it's a plus minus, order does matter. It matters where you put the numbers. All right? So 10 times negative 5 is negative 50, and 10 plus negative 5 is positive 5. Had I put the 10 over here and the 5 over here, then it would have been a negative 5, which would have been wrong. So this is our correct answer. Looking at number 4, we notice that our a value, the coefficient of the first term, is no longer a 1 like our first three examples were. So here, these are a little bit trickier to factor. So what we talked about in class was using a method called the diamond method. So we're going to draw an x. Then in this upper section, this top section here of the x, we're going to do a times c. So our a value here is 8 and our c value is 9. 8 times 9 is 72. In this bottom section, we're going to put our b value, so that's 38. And then on the left and the right, we're going to build fractions where our first term without the exponent is our numerator. So we're going to have 8v over something, and here also 8v over something. So now, we're going to follow the same process. Notice that all three of these terms are positive, so we know it's a plus plus. But now we're looking here. So what are two numbers that multiply together to make 72, and when you add them together, you get 38. Now those two numbers are going to be 36 and 2. So 36 times 2 is 72, and 36 plus 2 is 38. So let's go ahead and put the 2 here and the 36 here. Does it matter where we put them? No, because everything's positive. And now what we need to do is we need to simplify these fractions. So here, 8v and 2 can be divided by 2. 8v divided by 2 is 4v. and 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now, we're always going to leave these as fractions. So we're not going to turn 4v over 1 into 4v. We're going to leave it as 4v over 1. Then here, 8v and 36, we can divide by 4. 8v divided by 4 is 2v, and 36 divided by 4 is 9. So we get 2v over 9. So each of these fractions becomes our binomials. 4v over positive 1 becomes 4v plus 1. And 2v over positive 9 becomes 2v plus 9. And that's our answer. In number 5, we have 9m squared minus 29m plus 6. We're looking here. We again see that our third term is positive and our middle term is negative. So we know this is going to be a minus minus. But our a value is bigger than 1. So we're going to go ahead and use our diamond method. So we're going to draw our x here. Now in this x, again in this top section, we're going to do a times c. So we have here 9 times 6 is 54. Then down here, we're going to put our b value, which is negative 29. And then on the left and right, we're going to build our fractions using the first term without the exponent as our numerator. So we're going to have 9m over something and 9m over something. So now, since this is positive and this is negative, we're thinking of two numbers that are both negative that multiply together to make 54 and add together to make negative 29. And that's going to be 27 and 2. 27 times 2 is 54, and 27 plus 2, or negative 27 plus negative 2, is negative 29. So let's put the negative 2 here and the negative 27 here. And now let's simplify. So this first fraction here, 9m over negative 2, that's already in simplest form. So we're just going to keep that the way it is. And here, 9m over negative 27, both of these numbers can be divided by 9. So 9m divided by 9 is just m, and negative 27 divided by 9 is negative 3. So this is our simplest form over here, and these are our two binomials. 9m over negative 2 becomes 9m minus 2, and m over negative 3 becomes m minus 3. So our answer is 9m minus 2 times m minus 3. All right, last question, number 6. 10m squared minus 7m minus 45. Let's go ahead and make our x. In this top section, we're going to do a times c. So 10 times negative 45 is negative 450. In this bottom section, we're going to put our b value. So that's negative 7. Then on the left and right, we're going to build our fraction with the first term without the exponent. So we have 10m over something and 10m over something. So remember, if the third term is negative, that means we have a positive number and a negative number. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply together to make negative 450. And when we add them together, we end up with negative 7. Remember that adding a positive and a negative number is like subtraction. So two numbers that multiply to make 450 that have a difference of 7. Now those numbers are going to be 25 and 18. 25 times 18 is 450, and 25 minus 18 is 7. Now, how do we figure out which one is positive or negative? Look at the middle term. It's negative, so that means our bigger number is going to have the negative sign. So it's going to be a negative 25 and a positive 18. Now we can simplify. So 10m and negative 25 can be divided by 5. 10m divided by 5 is 2m. And negative 25 divided by 5 is negative 5. And over here, 10m and 18 can be divided by 2. 10m divided by 2 is 5m. And 18 divided by 2 is 9. So these are our two binomials. 2m over negative 5 and 5m over 9. So we're going to have 2m minus 5 times 5m plus 9. So that's our answer. All right, I hope that this review helps you to do well on your quiz. Good luck.